Dear colleagues here, and hello to everyone here in the room and in the Zoom people. So today it's my big pleasure to introduce you Aleksandr Kapitonov, who is associate professor of I don't know how it's called in English, system of robotics, right? So. And the head of the Department of Communication Systems, right? So, and today's talk will be devoted to their progress in research and education. So, Aleksandr, please, the floor is yours. We'll have questions during the.
Okay, by the way, sorry, Sasha. Misha, can you introduce our audience? I mean, like our background for Sasha.
I mean, we can continue the discussion after, because I suppose we need the additional block of.
So what Losha suggests, to tell you that here are fundamental physicists, microwave physicists, also, and some theoretical. I see a couple of theoreticians,
and you,
and non-photonic people. So we are not. We are far from robotics. So
kind of keep in mind.
Keep that in mind. However, we still can ask you.
I'm not trying to push hard things about any aspects of microelectronics or something else. I'm just today. I want to talk about some cases that we able to make and show you how it can be used common purposes of the research and so on. Just let me talk about the previous discussion that we had with Mikhail, with Misha. About the possible cooperation and ideas what we can do together. In this educational year, I mean till the June, I suppose to invite here three professors, or maybe not professors, engineers, or some colleagues who are related with MIT Media Lab, and especially with the social direction of this lab and the sensor lab too. We have the several contacts and want to find some ideas that we can develop together. Because right now I'm collaborating with a single person at MIT, but we discussed in this summer that we need to expand our ideas and our research for different directions, and especially related with some physical aspects. This is the short intro. That's why I'm here and trying to explain some ideas that we are developing. Let's start. One of the main projects that I'm working on, it's called Robonomics.Network. This project is about the economical and robotics research and some technical issues that we are trying to combine together and deliver it to the market as the common research. One of the closest thing that really looks like Robonomics, I mean, maybe Robonomics look like Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure part of the services, not, I mean, not the whole, the cloud system and so on. Also Google Cloud too. They provide some services related with the different aspects of the neural network, machine learning, data mining, and so on. We are focusing mainly on the storaging and delivering the data between the users, between the devices, servers, computational power, and so on. There is a lot of actors in this network, and it's possible to connect everybody together. Everything can be connected to other. This is a common description, and we already start something like 5 years ago. We started this project, and we started from some really simple robotics cases, but after that we expanded for the ecosystem for robotics and industrial equipment for information storage and exchange according the Industry 4.0 ideas or approach.
So will you give any examples on this network now? Or
yes, yes.
This sounds good. This is fascinating, but I can't understand what it is.
Okay.
Maybe if you show it an example.
Okay. I told about the initial discussion with Misha about the collaboration with MIT, and I actually found the 3 directions that we can do together. The first one, it's related with the sensor lab. That's possible. We can work with some sensors and connect it to the single work or single network. I will show you a little bit later. The second one is some aspects of arts and science, and the third one is social science based on those technologies. And let's start from the first direction. Yes, please.
Are you interested in large robotic swarms?
Large robotic swarms.
Say 100,000, something like this.
Okay.
Regarding
it's just, it's just an idea that, okay, we actually can discuss it out of scope, out of this presentation, because we have some research according to this topic. It was one of the first publications that we did, how to manage how to create unmanned traffic management between different countries and different actors in the single airspace. We can discuss. Okay, the small introduction about the sensoric things and the projects that's popular in Europe and America too. One of the first that I want to share is We Observe. This is a platform that involving different people, citizens, governance, some companies, to provide the data about the environmental states. This is one of the directions that's already developing in Europe and USA, when the people trying to collect a lot of information about the different aspects of different parameters of the environment. And the second one, it's a GROW observatory. It's the special project for the people who are working with the land, who are farming something, to provide the information about the state of the soil. And the other one is ground truth. This is also about the soil, the project that's giving yes, please. Did you work with the eco constellation?
Me personally,
Not personally, but maybe
We can do it myself.
It's not a scientific approach. It's only empirical way. We want to generalize the problem, and after that, solve it. Okay, and the last one, it's a SAM project that delivers you the application on the mobile phone, and you can connect some sensors. You can get the noise level from the phone and deliver it in the global storage to share this information with other participants.
How global is it? So it helps some kind of to test or to verify what's going on, or what
those projects mainly focus on the social citizen science and creating the citizens observatories. They using the usual approach as they create the server and store information inside. But here I want to show that this direction is really interesting. There is a lot of projects supported by the European governments and the USA governments too. Actually, one of the ideas that we discussed, it's probably pretty close to those projects. Okay, what about Russia? In Russia, we have the several project that's also trying to collect the information about the environmental state, and one of the famous of those is Breathe.Moscow. It's a platform that's delivering the hardware that you can place out of the window and collect the information about the particles in the air. They use the specific sensor, very cheap sensor, to collect the information about the three types of particles. And basically, it's enough to predict some processes that's happening around. I mean that if the pollution clouds go to Moscow, you really can see that the borders of this cloud or something like this, and also predict the direction of moving, if you know the line and so on. And this is one of the good examples that right now trying to cover the big part of Moscow city, but maybe in St. Petersburg we need something like this, especially on the, yes.
There is also like Yandex Weather Live. Looks very similar.
Yandex previously, Yandex made a service with the map that's showing the quality of the environment. No. It was on the service Yandex. How to say? Недвижимость.
Real estate.
Real estate. Okay, this is the specific Yandex service. They showed the map where they showed the quality of the environment, but right now they disconnected because they got a lot of juridic problems from the house developers who are asking, okay, just prove the what does it mean the bad quality in my region where I'm building the house, and they right now they disconnected.
I'm sorry. I think that Yandex weather is based on meteo station.
Yeah, Yandex weather based on the meteo station, but this service was based on the data from the company that's called. I actually forget the name of the company because we connect with them. They trying to use the satellite photos to predict and to estimate the quality of the environment. And also, of course, they use the data from the meteo station. In St. Petersburg, we have at least 24 regular station with the measurements of the dust, humidity, and so on. But there is not enough.
But you said that probably that will be happening in St. Petersburg too. Why don't we do that? So why Moscow does this and we don't?
Because in Moscow there is a big community who are interested.
Okay, so this is always who drives this. So it's not government of Moscow.
Yeah. It's an independent company. No, not a company. How to say? NGO. This is a separate NGO that's pushing it forward, and it's not so easy. It's not so easy, especially in St. Petersburg. Okay, we collaborate with Breathe.Moscow and trying to help them to store the data and solve problem with the big data. Not the big data. They haven't the big data, but it's still to store at least several terabytes in the cloud. It's not so cheap, and we help to deliver the distributed storage for that. But we separately developing the same sensor network in Tolyatti region, because the big part of my colleagues who are involved in this project, they are from Tolyatti, and it's much more easier to make a deal with the Tolyatti administration than with the St. Petersburg administration. And we place a lot of sensors to check the quality of the air and to check the particles in the air. And we actually found very interesting patterns inside the air quality, because at night time from the I don't know, something like 3 a.m. till 5 a.m. we saw the big gap between the parameters that we found there. That means someone drops out some gases at night, because you know, Tolyatti, there is a lot of different factories starting from the Avtovaz and finishing the Kurbyshev Azot, some other chemical production.
So what does the administration of Tolyatti tell us?
Right now it works like this. We have the sensor network and the administration of Tolyatti. They both the mobile laboratory. It's like Gazelka, equipped by specific sensors and the equipment. But when we found that some parameter out of the limits, we are just sending a mail, guys, please come here, check what's happening.
Okay, so they double check your results.
Not the double check, because initially this information is not
unofficial.
Yes, it's unofficial, because it's only administration interest to
help the
because
what do you measure in the end?
We are measuring only the particles in the air. Yes.
How big are they?
10, 15, and 5. The standard. Okay, what we actually found, we found a really good way to place those sensors at the billboards, because billboards already equipped the electricity, the internet, and administration. Tolyatti administration has the good relations with the owners of these billboards. That's why we just placed the sensors inside. And
is there an internet inside the billboard?
Yeah, of course. Because they're checking there is a lot of billboards that's rotating, for example, and they collecting the information. Is it working right now or not? What is the state?
For your sensor, it seems it should be placed not inside but like outside the billboard.
Yeah, we just drop out the forget the Pro. Yeah. Just put out the Pro, and there is the motor inside that's pumping the air. And developing those ideas, that's right now we have a lot of possibilities to create the. Yes.
Sorry for interruption. I just like to understand that, let's say, basic idea. Then you figure it out that in Moscow they have a project to monitor the air. You move to Tolyatti and did probably almost the same.
We collaborate together.
You collaborate. Okay. So, but like
it's not a research. Here is we are not researching something. We are just trying to implement already created methodics for air quality measuring for city environment.
And this, this is Tolyatti city administration. They would like to have such a monitoring.
Yes.
And therefore you are doing it like a business solution.
No. It's not like a business, it's a charity.
Yes.
Right.
Who supported you? Sorry, yeah. You say charity. Who supported you?
Different people. Or
Okay, but like they have this system right now.
who are giving the money.
Sasha, they have this system right now, and what?
I told you they both the specific mobile laboratory that's reacting on the out of the limit from the sensor, from sensor triggering, and working faster to measure the air in some region. Because when somebody calls to administration, just I feel something bad in the air, it's a bad smell, and after they push the information to the right direction, it's a time. It's in 1 hour, and already all the cloud goes out.
Okay, but like if they, let's say, detect some very, very bad cloud, for example, so what they will do, they will go some emergency people, I don't know, some policeman or whatever, and they will took all the people from this region where the cloud is going, or
they're just taking a probes on the plates.
Okay.
What's the result?
Yes, this is my question.
What's the result of this? So you measure something.
After that, administration trying to find who is engaged in this situation, who can get the fine and.
So you do not try to prevent that, let's say, big cloud will go to some house.
Of course, we can't.
You can't. Okay.
We just
it's not an aim.
We just accelerated the reaction of administration to bad situation.
You're at the stage of data acquisition.
Yes. And I'm talking only about the data exchange and data storage. And that's one of the directions that I'm proposing to make some demos. Here, the idea that I shared with the colleagues, with different colleagues, and their big part of them supported, that in the future, those sensor system like this can be like the presenter of the environment for the people. Because right now we are not estimating the influence from the humanity to the nature. Right now we started to think about it, you know, the carbon footprints, other pollution aspects, and there is a big carbon footprint market according to the Paris Agreement that's made several years ago, and Trump went out of this agreement because the oil in America, it's a really big industry, and it's a big problem to close. But for right now, we are going to a direction when we can estimate the influence, or how they call it, the bad externalities of our life, of our actions. And those sensor systems can help us to make the good environment. And here, for example, I think some of it's the most part. Maybe you know this big land Now I saw. Sounds like it's closed and all things go right, but the smell, the sound.
Do the robots choose the music for themselves?
No.
Choose the playlist.
Oh, of course. But we made the tests of idea. Is it possible to measure some parameters of this length field? As you can see, what we measure: CO, CO2. What else? Pressure, humidity, time step. There is several parameters and all. Yes.
Those sensors are commercially available or?
Yes, of course.
So
it's
just buy them and command.
we bought a drone, we bought a sensor, and just combine it together. I have a drone. I have a sensor.
Sensor drone.
Sensor drone. Yes.
So how many drones do you can control at the same time, or do you manually right now?
There is not the big problem to control 10, 12 drones, but there is of course there is a limits inside the software because we are mainly using the ground control. It's software to organize the mission of the drones and monitor the state of the drones. It's like not the option of what we try to find. Is here we try to catch some smells or maybe some organic gases, not organic gases, but some products that yes.
Such questions, from legal point of view, do you need any permission to fly by the drone? Yes, you've got this permission.
Yes.
Are you obtaining it from the city or from the owner of the territory
it's
on which you're flying?
Regional flights. In the south part of St. Petersburg, it's Pulkovo. Northern part of St. Petersburg, it's another one airport, Levashovo or something.
There's just permission to be in the air for drone. Yeah. And basically, with this drone, there is no limitation, so you can come to my territory and measure whatever you want on top of my territory. So you don't need any permission from the owner of this territory.
No, because you are not on the air.
So the owner of the ground.
If you start making photos.
It's about the photos. There is the special process exists. You are also dropping the photos to ORVD, and they just clarify that you are not filming any secret object or something like this. If you did it, they will tell you, please, no use this.
Is the sensor connected directly to the drone? I mean, does the airflow from the drone somehow influence the measurements?
Yes. The sensor is located on the drone, and actually we found and published the results of this test. That, for example, CO2, CO, or NO, and other gases that exist in the air can be measured with the drones because they already inside, and drone just mix it to give us the middle average level of this parameters.
There are no like stationary parts of the air here in the drone.
No. We're just taking the probes from the outside air, but the organic gases or some gases that go in like a cloud inside, there is a problem for drone measuring, of course. There is a problem, and we found that it's not possible to check the quality of the landfill with the drones. This is a problem. But when we went through the road, this is how the highway on the north part of St. Petersburg. We found that out of limits CO2, dust, noise, and so on. But if we, as our departments, I mean the ecological department or other who is working with that data, they're giving us the average level, like for the 24 hours. And the 24 hours, it's okay. But of course, in the hot time, when the traffic, a lot of traffic in the city, there is out of all limits.
Wait, you mentioned noise. Wouldn't the drone be the main source of the noise?
Drone, it's a source of the noise, of course. But we measure the noise with the station itself, not on the drone. But we actually discussed the possibility for the noise measuring inside the room, and I think it's possible to cut it because it's in the specific frequencies.
Yeah, so it will be a good thing if we can just send a drone across the a room, and then you got like a tomography of acoustic states.
Okay, the next example, it's related with the water measuring. We make
Коллеги, извините, пожалуйста, sorry for disturbing you. It's some problems in Zoom because when you start sharing video, I don't hear the voice. So may I ask you to repeat the beginning of the sentence about the water measurement?
Try to mute fully. Okay, Mariana, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I do hear you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Should I repeat the opus from the flying drone?
No, I think
No, only for water.
Okay, only for water. I actually told nothing. I just started. I thought that we are working not only with the flying drones, but a lot of different types of mobile vehicles, ground vehicles, water vehicles, as it's here. And right now we are creating several drones like this to measure the water quality and with the option of seeking the extreme, I mean for example, the drop pollution points or the maximum of some bad state of the water. Usually we're measuring the ammonium inside, the solidity of the water, O2, what else? Of course, the temperature and the pH level. Actually, those parameters are enough for some hypothesis about where coming from the pollution, where coming from, and is it a good quality of the water or not. We discussed it with the guys from the industrial ecology here in ITMO University. They help us to support with the methodics of the measurements. Yes.
Simple question. Do you do it from boards, or maybe you need some also do it underwater?
Yeah.
So it's you know, maybe not a bit accurate and so on.
Okay, here is we put the sensors 2 meters underwater. And just when we trying to measure something, we are staying in the single point at least 1 minute. But it's actually chemical sensors used, and you don't need a long time stay. You just will have some delay in the chemical reaction measurement, but it's still possible to use it for external signals.
Was it just thinking to use some underwater drones for this purpose?
Some, it's too high price, expensive.
Actually, I had a price question. I see that the drone that we have in here, it's quite bulky. It has solar panels, it has propulsion. It has, well, I would suspect that a lot of power and a lot of power actually is, a lot of space is wasted, not wasted, but is dedicated to power generation and propulsion. And maybe for Tolyatti, it's nice, but in St. Petersburg, say, if you do the same, can you say have 100 drones that would have no propulsion, just drop them somewhere in Ladoga, and then monitor how they flow through the Neva River?
You mean the drones without control?
Without control, so they just go with the flow.
Okay, just on the surface.
Yeah, and then you just collect them, so not to pollute everything. But maybe they might have the sensor underwater, say submerged, but they just use the water flow.
I know several cases that's already implemented, for example, in India and Africa. They put sensors on the regular boats. How to say?
Commercial boats.
Yeah, regular commercial boats, but they are not able to collect the information in the real time when they want. This is the problem.
Excuse me. So do I understand correct that you do need a system where you can put some robots with sensors in the water and keep their regular, so keep them over there for a long time, and then only to come and check the information? Would it be the story or not?
Actually, this story about the small fleet of drones that covers the area in some river or maybe the lake where we want to make the monitoring. It's actually, if you remember the situation in with the where the big pollution is. Yes. This idea when you can drop the several drones and find the border, the limits or the area of the pollution, it's really good thing. But here we are talking about the stationary fleet that's going out periodically with the trajectories, specific trajectories, and just collecting the information about the water. It's just a demo for also for the data storage and data delivery. We are not focusing on the best way for the best parameters of the water, to find the best parameters of the water. It's just our possibilities that we are working on. And okay, what else? Okay, it was the last slide of the first part, but after we will go faster. I think so. Okay, we actually discussed with Misha the possibility of using the drones for radio pollution in the city. This is it's possible. We can do it if you provide us the information about what sensors should we use for.
Yeah, that might be a problem because I don't know the size. Gentlemen,
That's what I
Small DNA is a bit heavy.
yeah. So what if you? I think
2 kilos.
if that doesn't connect to your next slide, we can discuss it afterward, right?
Yeah, it doesn't connect.
Yeah.
My next slide. Already about the second topic that I told previously. With the art and science ideas, what we are trying to promote. And right now we are working on the publication, and I hope maybe in 1 year we will publish it finally. Robotic science, big deal. Okay. The short information about what we are doing with robotic art and how we imagine some ideas that we really can apply here and show to the scientific community. Actually, we have the robot painter. It's just the industrial manipulator that we made to write pictures. But right now, actually, it's really a hot topic because if you know, the Hermitage just announced that they will sell at least 10 pictures. Like when you can buy the piece of the picture with some specific technology. I will talk about it later. Yes. And here's actually we demonstrating the fully autonomous cycle with the robots who are able to create the picture and sell it immediately. Just when a drawing.
Okay.
When a drawing.
So it's a factory, art factory.
Yeah, you can check on the Bourgeois line. There's like the big number of the pictures that's already produced. Well, how to say 1,000 already produced and 1 million on the way. In the famous memo. Okay, here we want to show how the modern technologies can be used for creation fully autonomous cycle. When some service that's existing in the cloud and living in the cloud, trying to serve himself. This is the main idea. This service using the physical equipment, robot as a presenter in the real world, and also the instrument for money making. Here is the short description of the scheme, because robot starting to write the picture, auction started, people voting, and when the picture finished, auction finishing, and the winner found, and the robots get money. Winner get picture, and robots buying some equipment that's needed for his work. Right now, we made the company in Europe that's able to sell some equipment for crypto, because in Russia it's not allowed, but in Europe you can sell for the crypto everything. There is no problems. And actually for our demos, we made this cycle in this way. But one of the main part of this idea is autonomous machine learning program or service that's existing in the cloud, and looking to the internet like Twitter, Facebook. Yes.
Is this a monitoring system? Is there a human that monitors this system?
What do you mean?
Because I mean, when you say there is an art production that's taking, well, that monitors the internet, I just remember that case with AI. I think it was Microsoft AI, which had a Twitter, and I think it spent just 2 days before it started
assist.
Yeah, it became very racist, very.
I just a couple of days ago I made the presentation with mentioning this situation actually, but here we are not given this algorithm to study on this data. It's just looking for the hashtags in the Twitter, or right now we are going to another platform, because the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they already closed any API that you can parse the information from the social network. But previously it was on the Twitter, and we collect the hottest, the cloud of the hottest hashtags, just process it and gave phrase to 2 words or single word that describing the whole situation from this word cloud. And this is just a way how to produce something independent in our region, of course. Something independent and that can be owned by this algorithm. This is the main idea. After that, we gave this service the crypto account, and this service like earned the money from the pictures and paying for itself for the cloud renting. This is the common idea of this project. Actually, here is the additional information how we what we are doing in the next step. After that, after collection of those words and generating the catchphrase or the single word, we are translating it to Japanese hieroglyphs. And after that, Japanese hieroglyphs just cutting to the bounds. This we found we using this skeleton from the hieroglyph that's sending to the robot to draw it. And this is like the picture with hieroglyph that describe the state of the current Twitter or any other social network that we use. This is the way how it works. But the idea is to show that but the idea is to show how to create the fully autonomous service. And I'm sure that we will find the specific place for those services. I think it will be related with the personal data and privacy, because I think one, especially with the medical data, because when the independent service that can store your data and provide it security and so on, you're just paying for the rent, and this service can exist and nobody controls it. I think for the medical data, it's one of the good idea that where it can be used, but I think it's not the single way. Okay, here is the short information about the option that we made. Some technical details. I will not go deep down in these schemes, but here is the robot that's actually drawing something. Here is some log of transaction that we monitoring. That's all going right and so on. And one more thing that we add in the last time, and I mentioned the story with the Hermitage Museum, that they start to sell the pictures with the NFT tokens. Then when you can participate in the crowd sale of the single picture. You know, the NFT tokens, it's not something really unusual or something new. It's just the crypto signature that's associated with a single line in the database. This is the simplest description of this idea. And we actually make the same thing. When the robot drawing the picture, you're not buying only the picture, you're buying also the metadata of your picture. And actually here is, we are drawing the address that both this picture.
Yes. Why should I buy it?
Why should you buy it?
I mean, any reason to buy it.
Because it's cool.
No. Because okay, why you should buy the derivative of Tesla?
Misha doesn't know it.
Or any other.
Now I start to understand your thought. I know why to buy a piece of real art. And so on.
No, it's a real art. We are
not real art.
No, we are selling the real picture.
Yeah, I understand.
But this picture, we are like providing the passport of this picture that's showing that this is a picture, it's look like this, and it's yours.
Okay, let me put it another way. Does anyone has anyone bought that?
Oh,
This one.
I did.
Okay, good. The self-investment is always good.
Misha, you know, there were hardly any sales of Van Gogh before he died.
It's actually it's a question to our.
So we need just to ruin the machine, right? So
I can bring a sledgehammer.
It's rather hard to ruin it with a hammer. You need something. I think you need another one machine.
You teach it to defend.
Actually, no, if you just go a slide back to the cats. I can't remember exactly the name of the project, but no, a couple of slides more. Yeah, right.
It's CryptoKitties.
I think you can just explain why the cats ruined Ethereum for a couple of days.
Okay, just let's thank you for advice. Let's jump back and just a small talk about the project that's called CryptoKitties. CryptoKitties, it's a project with pictures of kitties and people buying the pictures of kitties. And after that, they can merge it and some new kitty generates.
So a mosaic or something like this?
No. The picture that's associated with the code, they are not actually related. You can stick any picture as you wish, but there is the unique code inside, and you're actually buying this code that's associated with that picture. That's all. And when this game started, the big complex network with the high processing power just stuck for several days. Nobody can send the transaction inside with the processing like the half day. It was okay. I don't know why the people are buying the pictures of the kitties, but the internet just staying on the kitties and pornography.
Can I chime in?
I'm already actually finishing. Yes.
So I just wanted to mention that I think a big problem of buying anything digital is that if you're buying something digital, there's a problem of reproducibility. So anyone can just take Yes, you can reproduce that infinitely. So there's no real value in buying something digital intrinsically. But with NFTs and subscriptions and something like that, you can buy something truly unique, and that really captivates people. Just owning something no one else could ever own by itself.
Ownership provement that, for example, the results of your article or your research or something else. Okay,
but do you have some copyrights on this?
Copyrights, yes. Of course. It can be used in the court to prove that you're owner of this digital property.
There's another thing I would like to add to Rustam's comment. The other problem associated with buying anything digital or NFT related is that it actually is set to produce a lot of pollution if you produce the NFT token, because
that's really ironic.
It demands a lot of energy. So like the first part of the talk is about reducing pollution or monitoring it. Your second part is about increasing it.
Don't be afraid. It's actually this problem already solved, because you are talking about the concept of proof of work. But right now, the most part of the cryptocurrency market, they are going to the direction of proof of stake. And when you are using the proof of stake, you don't need a lot of power to prove. Just the last idea that I mentioned previously, that I want to try in our university and maybe collaborate with the guys from MIT Media Lab. That's related with the implementation of some processes that's playing in the direction of student governance and any action tokenization with the blockchain and tokens. It's actually one of the new ideas that I'm trying to implement, and I will try to implement it on my faculty, and you're definitely welcome to join. Okay,
We tried.
we try? We try.
Thank you, Sasha. Any questions maybe here before we think? So maybe there's one takeaway kind of message. I think everyone can think of. Sorry, what to talk to? No. I think if there are that MIT Media Lab, I've been there, so it's really some kind of really interdisciplinary thing. People doing very abstract thing, or sometimes something very specific. So we can think if any one of you can come up with the idea. Maybe we just need to open our mind and suggest something, not just a new cool equation or new solution of old well-known Hamiltonian, but something of this kind, right? So, and I think if it's worth of it, it will be good to try. That's what I try.
Okay.
Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you.